What's up, guys? Justin here with Team Golden Age. Who am I here with today? What did you do?
I'm Tom Perpetua. Yesterday we played in the holiday charity event, the Can Drive. That shout outs to Steven for supplying extra prizing so that in Top Cut there were some boxes given away. I placed second after Swiss before falling in Top Cut, unfortunately. But first, I want to give some shout outs. Shout outs to Justin behind the camera for being the driver yesterday and for finishing right behind me in third place after Swiss. Shout outs to Paul for joining the team. He ended up also in Top Cut. We were at the top tables all day as a team. That's a great feeling. And then shout outs to Old Man as always because he's the old man. He's the GOAT. But I just want to preface this with saying that this is the first time I've gone up to Lubbock and played something a little bit different in hopes of facing meta all day and then playing no meta all day and just having really bad matchups and still somehow winning. So let's actually get into the profile.
All right, let's see what you
I didn't want to think all day. I've been really busy lately with work, so I really didn't feel like thinking. So we just played normal summon Alistair. I think it's your standard 3 meltdown, a terraforming, to search the meltdown, you 3 Alistairs, 2 invocations. This is just the best card all day. And then when you combo that stuff with this, most people can't play around just 2 interruptions. Makaba and DPE are just actually like ridiculously good right now in tandem. And then especially like next turn, like you're able to summon your or use your Celestial effect. I played against Flunder round 2, and he ended up trying to remember exactly. I think he DD crowed my my DPE, and actually that was able to summon Celestial off of his effect. Swung over one of his little things and then popped his field spell. And actually that was probably just as good as summoning the DPE in the end, minus the damage. But yeah, just typically your end board with this is just Alistair or a Makaba plus a DPE, and 9 times out of 10, you're winning the game. That's just what won me games all day. You play a very small Dogmatica package, just the 2 Ecclesia and the 1 Fleur-de-Lis. I figured that a lot of people up there would be more prepared to face the Maximus. So I didn't play it. I ended up cutting it kind of last minute in favor of something else, which I'll show at the end. These cards did not come up as much as I thought they would. And then you run the 3 Nadir, and I run the 1 Punishment. Punishment was actually pretty clutch all day. Other than that, like, I had one duel where I sat on an Ecclesia for 5 turns because he just couldn't out it because of special summon monsters. But when you're playing stuff like Flunder and Altergeist, your Dogmatica package doesn't quite have the oomph that it normally has. 3 Ash, this card was okay. Then, like I said, I should have built my deck to play more like rogue matchups for where I was going. So I played 3 Nibiru. I didn't resolve it once all day. And then I main Droll. And I literally saw it 1 time all day, and it was against Virtual World. It slowed him down, but he was still better than me because I didn't open Alistair. Then the last hand trap we played was Imperm. This card was really good when I opened 2 game 1 against Flunders, and he just kind of passed on a barrier statue. I made Alistair, or normal summoned Alistair, crashed into it, and then main phase 2 I made the Origin. And then for just some supplemental cards, I played 3 Pot of Prosperity. I'm really iffy on this card. I actually did it for 6 at one point in the tournament and completely whiffed. I hit all my Nibirus and all my Drolls going second. It was like ridiculously like bad and underwhelming. Then there was another time where you flip this and the 3 cards that pop up are Nadir, Meltdown, Fusion Destiny. And then you sit there going,
Yikes.
which one's the best one for me to take.
Right.
So I'm kind of iffy on this card, especially because this deck does get in a lot of grind games, and sometimes you need the resources. The card that I kind of cut the Maximus over in the end was Super Poly. I thought this would have come up, and it didn't. Actually, the only time all day I Super Polyed anybody was I Super Polyed away a Silk again in the Altergeist matchup. That was the kind of day I had. One Call by the Grave, and then we run the one Schism. Which I flipped over one time all day. Like in all honesty, the only things I summoned all day were pretty much your Macabas. We play 2. I don't think you need to play a 3rd. And your DPE. This was the only cards I summoned pretty much the entire day. And these 2 in tandem are like absolute insanity. We played the one of Agoides that actually did all. This card did come up, won me a game or 2. Just because it can pop things and then OTK afterwards. The one of Raijin, because I was like scared of like the barrier statue, and then just play testing with Justin. That deck plays a lot of wind monsters. I wanted to be able to resolve Invocation to get rid of some wind monsters, banish them from his graveyard, and then also this would be really good against that deck because it can book things before he can activate effects or summon the Xyz. Small Shadal package, 1 construct. 2 Winda, 1 App Cologne. I think this is self-explanatory because it gets you your Schism at this point. This card's oppressive. The only time I summoned this all day, it just immediately got negated because of a Chalice. And I didn't summon Construct once, but I play it so you can have something that can kind of beat over big things. 2 Intis, pretty much standard at this point. The 1 Ash Dragon, did not resolve this once. Did not summon the Starving Venom once, but it was in there just in case. 1 Moon Maiden, and 1 Verte. I kind of understand the reasoning behind the Secure Garden and Almirage play, but I wanted to have more room so I could play something like Construct and a Super Poly target, so I went with the Artemis instead. And then I also cut the Purgatrio. I don't think Purgatrio would have come up at all. The one time I could have had an opportunity to make it was actually against the Altergeist because he had a Hextia also on board when I used the Super Poly. And he just could have just Silk bounced it, so either way it wouldn't have mattered.
Right.
And then Anaconda is just so you can turn 1 be able to get to your DPE if you open an Alistair and just hard open Ecclesia or something like a Fleur, you can make that card. As for the side, Ariel did not come up once. This card probably was the card that came up most in the side deck, the 3 Cosmics. Didn't want to lose to something like a Scythe, so you play the Cosmic over the Twin. We play the one of Raigeki. I've been playing this a lot more lately, and for some reason it just likes to show up in my hand. There's not a whole lot of spell trap negation running around right now. So decks like Lyrilusk, Sword Soul, if they don't put up something, or you're able to just debate the one, negation, because it's just like, all right, you're obviously gonna negate something like Magical Meltdown or Nadir Servant, and then because that's the power card in this deck, and then you just activate Raigeki, and your opponent just kind of goes, oh, and then they just scoop up like all their cards. One of Mystic Mind for going second. Pretty self-explanatory. And then you just search it off your terraforming, so that's why I only played 1. And then the last going second card is your 3 Evenly. I think this is the best side deck card in the game right now. Just because, like I said, nobody's playing Spell Trap Negation. So unless your opponent's playing Lancey, which they do side in against this deck, unfortunately, but I think Lancey doesn't really hurt too many of the top decks right now. So play that. And then if for whatever reason I was going first, 3 strike, just figured this would be better over the hand traps. Because a lot of things need to just get their things rolling. So like if you just strike a Moye, like what does Sword Soul kind of do? Or you just strike the Synchro Summon. And then lastly, in the same concept, is just D-Berry is just nutty. That card's just ridiculously good right now. Going first, stops the Tri-Brigade Leerless, stops Sword Soul, stops this deck, stops anything that's playing DPE, slows down things like Virtual World, Phantom Knights. This card's back, and this card's insane again. So that's it. Like I said, it was an interesting day because I feel like all I did was normal summon Alistair, sit on Ecclesia if I needed to stall for a turn or two, and make DPE all day. But thanks for watching, guys. Remember to like and subscribe for more of the best content out of West Texas.